Hi everyone, this is Debbie. Welcome to the Sane Progressive YouTube video series that seeks to inject some sanity into modern American political dialogue. We have social media sites showing claims for victory all over the Twitter feeds and the Facebook feeds, and many people celebrating the denial of the easement for building under the Lake Ahu water body. Unfortunately, this really is not a victory, and I am really concerned about the manipulations of the Obama administration, as we have seen throughout this process. I really do not believe that this is going to stop the building of the pipeline, and I do not believe really Obama, his goal is to really stand with the water protectors. Obama is a president who has overseen the largest expansion of oil pipelines in modern American history. He has granted hundreds of permits. He has expanded fracking all over the country. Obama is not an ally in this fight, okay? Obama is concerned about optics. That is what Obama is concerned about. They had thousands of veterans going out there. It was starting to get national media attention. This was finally reaching a critical tipping point in the media. And so you see Obama coming out saying that there's going to be environmental reviews and there's going to be a denial of easement. What does victory look like for Standing Rock? What is victory? Is victory having Obama issue an environmental review order that could be circumnavigated? I'm going to get into that in a moment, because there's people who are reporting on what the order actually means. Does it mean Obama kicking the can down the road for about a month and a half until Trump takes the presidency so that he can look like the good guy, but not do really anything of substance to actually stop this, so that Trump can come along in a month and a half and they can continue building? I know people want victory. I know after months of being shot with rubber bullets and being sprayed with water cannons and having a girl have half her arm blown off and one woman lose her eyesight, people want victory. And the last thing I want to do is be pouring, water and be a wet blanket on what so many are being perceived as a victory. However, you have to look at the individuals that you are involved with. The president is henchman number one for the fossil fuel companies. That's the role he served for 8 years. And you have to look in all of the policy decisions of this government. These operatives who work for the fossil fuel companies and not the people, you have to look at underlying motives. And you have to look at what is really going on. And did Obama all of a sudden become a water protector and an oil champion, and a champion to stop oil pipelines? Or is Obama concerned that he's going to be out of office and he does not want the stain on his legacy to be one where he walked out of office and betrayed people? It's just as easy for him to kick this can down the road and not offer anything that's really going to stop it. And that's how I perceive Obama. I mean, if I can't tell the water protectors what to do, or the people who have been standing out there, and I certainly don't want to condescend to anybody, but I would be like, look at who you're dealing with. And this could be very much just a manipulation at the height of when they're getting the most attention, at the height of when the veterans are standing out there, at the height when the mainstream media was finally, this was the week it happened, finally turning to this as a real issue to do something to disband it. And I'm reading the statement from the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe chairman, Dave Archambault II. And he writes this: "We want to thank everyone who played a role in advocating for this cause. We thank the tribal youth who initiated the movement. We thank the millions of people around the globe who expressed support for our cause. We thank the thousands of people who came to the camps to support us, and the tens of thousands of people who donated time, talent, and money to our efforts to stand against this pipeline in the name of protecting our water. We especially thank all of the tribal nations and jurisdictions who stood in solidarity with us. And we stand ready to stand with you if and when you people are in need. With this decision, we look forward to being able to return home and spend the winter with our families and loved ones, many of whom have sacrificed as well. We look forward to celebrating in Wapilla in thanks in the coming days." Don't go home. Don't go home. Don't go home. This isn't a victory. This didn't stop the pipeline. I want to refer to you to a statement from one of the people who are out there on We Are the Media, who has been out there, and they are pleading with people not to buy this. Headlines: "Do not stop the pipeline," and they are screaming, "Today is not a victory." I want to make that crystal clear. Do not fall for the headlines or the propaganda. This reporter states, "I'm not leaving the Sacred Stone Camp, and I urge all water protectors to listen to your heart and your prayers to stay until the black snake is dead. You've trusted my reporting for months because I give you the hard truth, so I will give you that now. I have no faith that DAPL will not drill under the Missouri River because of these words. The fines are small, and they don't respect the law or human rights. I have showed you in numerous photos and videos earlier this year of DAPL's continuing work during the injunction when they weren't supposed to be drilling. People celebrated headlines then as well, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop the pipeline." And he goes on to talk about the danger of President-elect Trump and how that he will just overturn this down the line. And he points out something very, very important. There's currently still a standing eviction order for by the U.S. Army Corp, and this could easily be used to pressure the camp to leave the treaty land. If the numbers at the camp go way down, as I expect from these headlines and statements, by even the Greenpeace claiming victory, it will be easier to attempt to force the remaining water protectors out. He writes, "I can see Morton County Sheriff and DAPL Private Security currently in the hills across the Cannonball River riding around. The monstrous militarized concrete barricades blocking the highway where police laughed as they aimed water cannons in below freezing temperatures at innocent people remain. The Constantine wire on Turtle Island and all throughout the hills remain. The Army Corps suspended the decision barring an environmental impact statement and did not deny the permit to cross the Missouri River. They did not deny the permit to cross the Missouri River. That is an important legal distinction currently being misreported by many news outlets who don't understand the nuance. Moving the pipeline 10 miles north through a reroute is fully unacceptable and continues to put the Standing Rock Sioux tribe's drinking water and that of millions in direct harm's way. Climate change is already causing extreme weather, and I find this option to be another bait and switch." I agree. There's a bunch of articles today basically echoing the sentiments, and I will put this in the video description below. And, you know, the statement that came out from Energy Transfer Partners and Sunoco Logistics Partners basically blew the entire thing off and said it's going to change absolutely nothing. Listen, this is a statement directly. This is from Business Wire, and this is linked to the top of Sane Progressive. It's pinned at the top of the page if you want to read the full statement by the oil pipeline developer who wrote, not going to read you the whole statement because it's several paragraphs long. It says that, but basically that the crux of what you need to see here is, as stated all along, ETP and SXL are fully committed to ensuring that this vital project is brought to completion and fully expect to complete construction of the pipeline without any additional rerouting in and around Lake Oha. Nothing this administration has done today changes this in any way. People are saying, oh, well, you know, they're just saber rattling, they said to me. Somebody wrote, they're just saber rattling. They're not going to drill. Of course they will. Are you kidding me? We've had people being shot with rubber bullets, had a grenade thrown at a girl's arm. They've been dousing people with water. The oil hench police and the oil hench military and the oil hench mercenaries. You don't think that the second that the people leave and the news media cameras go away, they're just going to keep drilling? They're going to keep drilling and drilling and drilling, and then Trump takes office and they just turn it on. This is a way to make people go away at the height of when it was actually getting attention. And this is exactly the type of slime ball maneuver that President Obama would engage in. People, you know, good people are so easy to manipulate. Good people are so easy to manipulate because they don't think. They think, oh, Obama's standing with us, the guy who has let us be shot, the guy who has allowed the National Guard to be utilized and utilizing violence against us for months. Oh, now he's on our side. No, he's not. He's a manipulative asshole who does not want to have to shoulder the blame when he leaves office. And why should he, when it takes a month and a half to have Trump take over and deal with it? This is not a substantial win, and it is not a substantial victory. The substantial victory is when the oil pipeline stops being built, and at least that they can't build it under the water at all. The first thing that the oil pipeline water protectors, the protesters, should have said was, we don't trust you. We don't trust anything you say or do after you have allowed the military to use violence against us for months. We don't trust you that this is just a political show to protect your own ass and make you and make sure that you don't own the actions that you have allowed committed and the violence that you have allowed committed against us for months. So what we want is we want the National Guard that you have utilized against us for months to come on down here and get these people the hell off our land, and we want guards put up so that they can't build and keep drilling. We want that now. And if we don't see that immediately right now, we will not take this statement and this temporary delay as a good faith effort. You need to, after the violence that you have allowed on our land and against our people and against our peaceful water protectors, we want a demonstration that the force will be used to stop the violations of our land. But what do people do? They practically kiss his feet. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Really? I mean, this is, this, when I saw this, I just went, oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody's going to celebrate. They're going to put up a manipulation. People so want to feel like they've had a victory. And this could dismantle the camp. And then a couple months later, it's all in and it's forgotten and we move on. You know, and I know a lot of the people out in North Dakota don't want to leave. I know that there's a contingency of people around there who feel very much as I do. But this is just like we finally got the momentum. We finally had the national media. We finally had the veterans. We finally had the camera. And then they do this and... So, here's another good statement with some of the questions that need to be answered. There's some really good reporting coming out, especially from people in North Dakota who are on the ground covering this. Let me see if I can pull up one of the other articles I had featured on the top of my page. All these articles that I'm reading to you, they will be linked on Sane Progressive. So if you like my Sane Progressive page and you go and you scroll down the page, it will be all the articles that I'm giving to you. I will put them separately on the page, and you don't even have to go through the video comments. You can just read them. Here is, people have been posting some really great stuff. DAPL easement denied, but the fight is not over. This is from sacredstonecamp.org. And this reporter from the Camp of the Sacred Stones basically says, a response statement from Energy Transfer Partners and Sunoco Logistics said the corporations remain fully committed to ensuring that this vital project is brought to completion and fully expect to complete construction of the pipeline without any additional rerouting in and around Lake Oahe. Like the statement I just read to you. Nothing this administration has done changes this in any way. The Trump administration could easily approve the project next year. The Obama administration has never guaranteed the water protectors or the Standing Rock Sioux tribe that they would use force to stop Dakota Access from drilling under the river without a permit if necessary. The Army Corps has not yet agreed to pursue a full EIS for the entire length of the pipeline. Organizers to continue to call for every day of December to be a day of no Dakota Access Pipeline action against the investors of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Over 100 solidarity actions worldwide have already been registered for the coming weeks as the encampment continues to stand their ground. And I think this is a really good list of questions that need to be asked and answered. And there's a calendar on here of the global month of No Dakota Access Pipeline. There's an action calendar that you can follow, and you can participate in their removing money from banks, protests, etc. But here are the 10 questions we need to be asking in the days and the weeks ahead. 1, will the Army Corps actually conduct an environmental impact statement? If so, on what portion of the project? Just the river crossing or the whole pipeline? What issues will the environmental impact statement take into account? For example, will it include analysis of spill risk? How about sacred sites? Will it reassess the economic need for the pipeline now that the Bakken is busting? Which alternatives routes will be considered? Will a no-build option also be considered? How long will the environmental impact study take? What input will the tribe have? What was the result of the tribal consultation process exploring possible changes to the regulatory process for pipelines in general? Have any changes been proposed? How easily will these decisions be reversed by a Trump administration? And is the government prepared to use force to stop the company from drilling under the river without a permit if necessary? So this is another really good overview of things that people need to be considering right now. And I know a lot of the people out in North Dakota understand exactly what I'm saying, and they don't need me to tell them. But there is also a contingency of people that I'm seeing who have been out there, who want to go home. People are, I'm sure, exhausted from this. I'm sure people are exhausted from being out there for months. I'm sure they're sick of being cold. They're sick of being shot at by rubber bullets. They're sick of the entire thing. And it's really tempting when you have somebody say, oh, we're going to do something. We're going to make it better. There's nothing here. There's nothing here that gives any even basic assurance that this isn't going to just keep moving forward in the exact same way. And my take, and I'm a very cynical person, and maybe people may not agree with me, my take, this has been issued at this time to just make the camp go away, to dismantle the camp, to take the national media away from it, to take the edge off the story. They're going to be like, well, what are they even protesting about anymore? They said that they weren't going to build on the land. Why are they still there? And it's like, let's move on to the next thing. So I certainly hate being in this role of being such a cynic. But I don't trust Obama at all because he hasn't earned trust. Every action Obama has taken has been to expand pipelines, to expand fracking, to expand drilling on public land, to expand our dependency on fossil fuels, to make the United States not just energy independent, but actually make the United States a net exporter of fossil fuel at the very time that the climate change scientists say that it all needs to stay in the ground should we have a hope of even being able to stem off this crisis, which is already being addressed years and years too late. And the fact that this could be still built under the river is horrifying, because water travels. if it's 10 miles north or 10 miles south or 10 miles east or 10 miles west, if it's still in the water, it's still going to contaminate the entire thing if it leaks. And it's an environmental crisis on two levels, because first, you contaminate the water with the leaks, and second, if it gets burned into the air, it contributes to the climate change. And that's carbon that is going to be forever in the atmosphere. So I don't perceive this as a win at all. I perceive it as a manipulation of the Obama administration to kick a can down the road so that he doesn't have something on his legacy. But, ironically, it is his legacy. His legacy is the violence that the water protectors have endured under months of him basically turning a blind eye, not just turning a blind eye, actually being part of the problem and overseeing the entire thing as the president, and allowing our military to be used as hench people to commit violence against innocent water protectors. That's Obama's legacy. That is who you're dealing with. And every time I see people thanking him, I just want to be like, are you kidding me? Thanking him. Thank you, Obama, for the record expansion of pipelines all over the country. Thank you for lifting the fracking ban on drilling off the West Coast. Thank you for giving 1,500 oil fracking permits down in the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you for proposing lifting the ban on drilling in the Arctic. Thank you for proposing the lifting of the ban on drilling off the East Coast. Thank you for expanding drilling in the national parks. Thank you so much, Obama. You're so much better than all the Republicans. It just makes me sick. Man, it's so easy for them. It's so easy for them because people are so desperate to want to think that they have actual representation. So a little crumb, a little thing that can kick the can down the road, and victory. I wish it was. I wish it was. I wish we didn't live in a political climate where every friggin' action was designed to manipulate people until they could move through with what they are going to do anyways. That's how you have to approach this battle, and that's how you have to approach this fight. You have to look at them for who they really are and how they will manipulate you so that you can act effectively, so that you do not dismantle the camp, that you do not lose the momentum that took months and months to build. And to be stating very firmly that unless these specific conditions of actual demonstrable actions move forward to stop the pipeline, this one action means hardly nothing in the face of the months-long violence. That's my opinion on it. And I thank again the water protectors for their amazing work, for their courage, for putting their bodies in harm's way. I just don't want to see everything that you guys worked for so hard and that you put your physical health and your very lives at risks be just basically torn apart and dismantled by some kind of scumball political manipulation by Obama. And that's what this video is about. I do not mean in any way to be disrespectful to the people who have been out there and have been walking the walk and showing up every day. So I hope when you see this video and you see me saying this, it is that I do not want to see people who are such good people, who are such fierce people, who care about this earth, who care about this environment, manipulated by the likes of Obama pipeline, pipeline Obama. Okay? So I hope you can hear my message in the spirit as it intended. And it is no means meant to be disrespectful to anybody who has fought so hard. And I just don't want to see anybody be played. That's all. That's where I'm coming from. So all the links to this are on the video, are on the Sane Progressive page. Like the page, you can do all the reading. They will all be linked. And the water protectors are not stupid, but I just want to put this call out so that everybody who is celebrating just takes and looks at this with a critical eye. All right. I love you guys, and I love the water protectors, and I thank you again for your very brave work. Peace out.